Funny, I put money in Kiva. I don't know if you remember Kiva, right? It always comes back, and I'm always asking, like, okay, now you gotta put your money into someone else. Give it a
No way, man. I did that once years ago. I put $100 in. I did 4 $50 loans. And I got them all back. I was like, this is the dumbest thing ever. I was like, I don't even make any money. Like, it was like, do you want to resubscribe or do you want to withdraw? I was like, fuck it, man. I'll just get my money back. Like, so, when this was money club, you
Don't get it. Too Kimball.
yeah, I think Lemon Club is good. It's probably that good. That's the one. Lemon Club, yeah. No, it's never like 2007. It's been a long time. It's a decent track. Not too bad.
No, like I know it's been around and it's never stable, but like it doesn't have the hype. Like when you first heard of it, probably had more hype.
It has staying power in a similar way. It's like, that's the bad side. I mean, say you put away your checking account or CD at 1% money on BT, it's like you could pay 13 under 17 or whatever it is. And you end up now the spread is, but
I mean, good deal.
as long as they can rate the risk right, you're like you're getting the right loan rate.
Yeah. And anything about the bank?
Yeah, unless you're salary.
But
Unless quarter your loans go bad, then yeah, it's not right rates.
Well,
Where the hell's Bernie?
I don't know, Bernie's coming. Yeah, so whatever. I just go to bullet points. Well, the thing is that I'm trying to start the next group. The audience is small. Yeah, obviously for the next group. But are you sure next? Yes. You are, right? Have you played with all the stuff? Pretty good. Oh, you did? Okay.
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, perfect. Because I usually like maybe a 1 or 2 months away. So
I'm not.
You're not advanced. Okay. Yeah.
Certainly, I work with James, but I couldn't tell you how to get them. You probably can.
Okay. Have you played with Monkey Gateway? I haven't. Okay, so we'll play with it later. I'll show you. Okay, so usually, jump in, whatever. So I'm trying to format that meetup where I'm just gonna do it once a month, where I'm just gonna give like general news, updated news for people that don't watch this stuff. Right? They don't watch it that much. So usually I'm just gonna pick out some of the top key points that happen in the past month. So a lot of the good devs or the other things. So I'm trying to cater to this and work for this, getting a general idea and informing people on general topics. What's not good, right? And also focus on the next month too. Seeing that they do a lot of crazy stuff. So I just have a couple of points right now. So let's see. So you guys know, $400 drop. So do that.
Never going up ever again.
I know, it's crazy. Yeah, $400 drop. So some people are speculating that was the Ethereum people cashing out, right?
You certainly have been doing that.
Are they?
Yeah, they announced their cash out. So that was another one, which of course coincided. Actually, I think it was the last one. I'm not sure.
Yeah, so there's, obviously, it most likely could be that because they did 22,000 bitcoins they raised.
Well, a lot more Bitcoin than that changed hands.
Yeah, I was gonna say something.
Yeah.
A number of factors.
I guess.
I think I guess not here to talk, so
So it could be not. Right. So was it other people speculating that Alibaba, or was it Friday?
Oh, now they got it or something. What day?
sucking the air out of the room.
Yeah,
Alibaba and the Great Britain pound.
Yeah,
These are the 2 things.
everyone's so good at
Easy
coins for
money.
Alibaba. Yeah, because it's money's.
Right.
I don't even know
Was
the
it-
stock
Was it there?
where people cash out the bitcoins to buy Alibaba stock. Right, man.
Why do I have Alibaba stock? You trust the Chinese government with your money?
Yeah, it's kind of weird where the Chinese company.
Interesting 300 million Chinese consumers.
I don't know. I don't know.
You're trusting Jack Ma's relationship.
You're trusting Jack Ma to stole Alipay from Yahoo? Things are going to be different with you. You're going to wake up one day and it's like, oh, I'm sorry. Alibaba actually doesn't even own anything.
It's true.
We didn't know that. Sorry, we got you.
Yeah, but it went on what? 35? Was it easy? What? 35% top, and then what? And then dropped.
Yeah.
Did it? How much did it drop?
I didn't track it. I think high 70s maybe.
Oh, high 70s.
It was like in the 90s.
Yeah, that's I don't know. It was pretty risky. I was thinking about playing with it, but
I would short it if I could.
You can't afford that.
yeah. So next thing, the Open Bazaar thing. So they just did the video yesterday, right?
Yep.
So Open Bazaar, like I said, is a decentralized eBay. So now anyone can sell drugs without getting caught, basically. So, do you guys watch the video?
No, I have not.
Yeah, I haven't watched it yet. So it's just 5 minutes, pretty short.
You can get the gist. Network.
Yeah.
So once you get everything started, you're in the
We
browser.
just got some screenshots of it.
You can see connected markets over here on the right. It shows that there's 35 stores connected on there right now. And you just click on the stores to view the storefront and the items they have. Well, so this person is not testing really selling these products. It's raw and pasteurized noni juice from Hawaii. That's neat. Check out some other stores. Bullet pens. This person's selling pens made in Australia. That look like, well, it's interesting. That makes sense. If you were to purchase these, of course, you can change how many you want to purchase. It gives you your shipping and your total. You can put in a note to the merchant if you want. Then you would go and choose your notary. This is the third party that is going to have the third key in the 203 multi-sig. Make sure that you aren't taken advantage of. Look at some other stores here. This person selling some organic garlic, climbing shoes, save a chicken. Let's do that. That's interesting. So you can help support this chicken who is out to fillet eggs. So if you want to keep a chicken alive, you can do that. Some cinnamon, some homemade sauerkraut, some neat stuff. A lot of these are, as you can see here, default marketplaces. These are folks who started up nodes but didn't put in their store name. They probably don't have products or any details about their store. And because this is beta, that's great. We want people to come on the network and test it out, find out what works and what doesn't work. But you can see there are also people also selling legitimate items as well. The nonsense store products. Right, this person's selling an image of French toast. Actually, I purchased that product the other day. So now if you go into your sale, you can view things other people bought from you, of course, but my purchases, you can do things you bought. As I said, here's the French toast. What it'll do is tell you that you need to send this certain amount to this multi-sig address. If you click here, it's going to open your default Bitcoin wallet on your computer. You can put in this payment information, or of course you can scan the QR code. When you've done that, you mark it as paid. The seller will then see that you paid. They will ship the product to you, and then they'll put in the address that they want to receive the funds from the multi-sig. And then once you, the buyer, receive it, you mark that you received the product. If you're happy with it, everything went as it should, and then that's 2 or 3 signatures, and the funds will be released to the seller. If there's a profit, that's what the notary comes in. If you're looking to sell something, you can go into contracts, add a contract, put in your details. Let's say that we're selling haircut phones.
If you find it interesting that they directly found it all.
Put in your product description.
Why?
Price you want to sell it for.
Okay, what's it? 0.05 Bitcoin today, and tomorrow it's. And people still think,
How much
transaction.
shipping, the quantity you have, the conditions you're in, whatever
They definitely got
keywords you want to tag it with. And then you can add an image. Once you publish it, it'll show up in your contracts here locally. It also pushes it out to the network, so other folks will be able to view that product either by looking at your store, as we were doing earlier with our stores, or they can do it by searching. Search is something that we're still working on through the betas. It's not working very well right now, but down the road, that'll be one of the primary ways that people will find goods.
Oh, there he is. Superstar here. The out of body, out of mind.
That's where we're at with beta 1.0. We're going to put out new beta releases at the end of each month until the end of the year, where we hope to put out the full release. So, if you're interested in becoming a beta tester, there's a link in the description below that'll walk you through setting up a store like this. Thanks for watching.
Alright, so everybody Hernan, the other.
Hi, I'm Hernan.
What's up, bro?
I am a cryptocurrency guy. Trader, miner, great.
Let's see. Okay, so we're just going over the dark stuff. We're just discussing.
Oh, yeah, the decentralized marketplace.
I've heard about it, and I've heard about the Razor Road.
Razor.
Yeah,
That's
they're block tech using Razor coin.
Oh, with Black Tech Inc. Those guys, Bruce Wayne.
Right, Bryce Wiener.
Yeah, Bryce Wayne.
So they're supposed to start their own version of
this.
Bazaar that uses their Razor.
I don't understand this. That's playing against Bitcoin and stuff. You can't.
Yeah.
Wait, you can make your own coin. People are using your own exchange.
No, but he has a really good idea on MetaMask. It's one of his other ideas was that take all the old crappy mining hardware that's completely useless to mine SHA-256. You can't mine Bitcoin with it anymore, and instead just give it to the third world countries and let them mine with it with other types of coins, which are kind of worthless. But when you buy those coins now you support a third world country and increases the value because you're helping the third world nation use their own crypto. I don't know, that was his idea. It seems smart using the old, junk basic, it's garbage.
Well, the point is their Razor scout, dark, clear, base, and all that stuff.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the biggest problem. One becomes, I'm on Bitcoin. It's like, man, why did you create this? It's all open. Like, yeah, on one hand, yeah, it's open ledger. We're talking about. On the other hand, it's like, I don't want to follow the trail. Why does they figure out which wall it's mine? Now all of a sudden, it's like an open book. What open up to?
Well, there are a ton of different coins. Dark coin, shadow coin. There's more than I can count.
I think right now with
There's so many.
the one right now with the best technology, from my point of view, from my opinion, is Cloakcoin. Cloakcoin, I believe, has perfect technology for mixing.
What's it called? Cloak.
I have a very strong dissenting opinion that Monero,
Monero is pretty good.
the best
Yeah, it's pretty good.
crypto technology right now.
Yeah, it uses crypto now. No, it's good.
Hey,
Back.
Yes.
Hey, what's up?
well, so who's pushing that one?
Nobody wants you to buy it. Stay away. Do not buy. We are busy here. Go away.
Monero?
Monero.
Pretty good.
Both the anonymous.
What do you think about
Bullberry. It's an also ran. There can be only
How
one.
bad was it?
It is a
Was it?
natural monopoly.
Hold
Dark
on.
liquidity.
Hold on.
Bullberry
It's within the same line. It's in the crypto node.
Yes. The principal difference would be that Monero is maintained by a large team of developers. Bullberry is maintained by one individual.
What do you think about SuperNet?
I think James is gonna. I mean, well, his net worth is far in excess of his assets. Okay. There's no way he can cash out and run at his listed nominal values, right? But he does have an enormous incentive, and he is maintaining an anonymity. I expect this to be pirated at 40 at some point.
So what they're discussing is the form of SuperNet. I don't know the full details of it. I guess summarize it somewhat. But it's just an ETF with a whole bunch of coins. When you buy this SuperNet token, whatever, you're buying a bunch of other crypto coins, and then essentially you're supporting all the good ones, right?
Yeah, well, he's building a whole stack of derivatives, like JLH.
Yeah.
He's moving, shuffling those. The queens are just flying.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to follow.
There's this one
ICO
anonymous developer.
tomorrow. SuperNet. Sure.
So you're buying ETF, kind of what's in it, or right?
What the SuperNet network pretty much want to do is trying to make the friction within trading coins like before. Trying to put them in a decentralized manner. Right now, if you're trying to trade a coin or something like that, or some type of asset, you have to go through an exchange. So that's like fastest way to execute.
Right.
With this SuperNet network, it's going to be able to execute these transactions on a blockchain, just like it was on the website.
On MGW. Through MGW, right?
No, with SuperNet, it's not going to go directly.
But
That's
it is
why-
underlying.
MGW is going to be tied to it, but SuperNet is going to. Well, MGW still you have that type of friction. SuperNet is trying to do really eliminate all that. It could be pretty fast.
Can I hash these transactions into the NXT block?
Yeah, it's all in.
They're doing that already.
Yeah.
Hashing transactions.
No. Well, I mean, not SuperNet isn't operational.
No, other people
Per se.
that are tied in.
But right now, multi-gateway is the only one. Right now, multi-gateway is the only one that's actually working. My computer's starting now to demonstrate to you guys how it works.
Buying SuperNet is a lot like buying Ethereum, right? I mean, it's paperwork.
Yeah, right now, no, SuperNet is not.
No, it's not.
It's not.
Actually, it's
No,
the
it's
code
not.
is undergoing
Done right now.
a third-party review, and they're basically testing out, reviewing the code to see if there's any faults. Somebody found some memory leaks in there. I mean, there's development and review going on the actual code. So there is production going on. It's not big.
No, it's not done. It's not done. But multi-gateway.
Multi-gateway is done. It's
works.
a decentralized system of exchanges. Instead of having a centralized exchange, you basically have. Are you guys familiar with multi-gateway? Not at all.
I'm gonna get a demo.
Yeah.
We'll get a demo in a bit, so you guys can see how it works.
It's a secure asset.
Well, no, the multi-gateway is a system that is used within the next asset exchange that allows.
We'll show that in a bit.
Oh, okay.
I have it.
All right.
So we'll go. Let's just go over this quick. So since you guys just came in,
Hey everyone, this is Sam Patterson from the Open Bazaar project.
But so the general idea is we're trying to build up the next community in New York City.
Yeah.
So the next community meetup. So, but obviously we still got to grab Bitcoin people.
Of course.
Because a lot of people still don't.
There's a lot of opposition to that. So
Yeah, exactly.
It's natural.
So we have to start it up. So next is
NXT.
is NXT.
Oh, okay.
NXT. So are you familiar with NXT?
I have some.
You have some. So
You're familiar with it.
I don't know that much about it. I know I bought it.
Yes, you really-
it's going for now.
So this would be, the crypto 2.0 crypto coin, right? So I don't know. From what I see, it seems like that NXT is the most widely developed coin so far. Is it? Am I correct?
Oh yeah, by far.
It is.
By
By
far,
far.
any compared to
By long.
Yeah, it's me. They moving that. At the speed they moving, it's like.
Yeah.
Supernova. It's insane.
If you
It's
compare it to Bitcoin, they have it's just nuts.
See, I'm working on a project. I could have chosen, BitShares, waited for Ethereum or, Mastercoin, which is kind of slumped.
Same over here.
A lot of 2.0 projects, right? NXT is here. Trust me.
Mm-hmm.
And in 2 months' time, it will become very, very apparent. Because there are like timelines and goals that are going to be come to fruition by that time, and it will just be a moment of awakening when those things come along.
As a matter of fact, things are already moving. There's this company called NXT. Pretty much they develop a.
Yeah, NXT, the privacy app.
Things are moving in that space.
It is.
Okay, let's go through this real quick. Some of the points that I have. They just released this, I think today or yesterday. So now Bitcoin can do HD wallets. But it's only Mycelium, so it's only Android. Yeah, so it's pretty cool. For you guys that might not know, so HD wallets is just basically you create they kind of get out there. It's like you just make one password and then it generates all your other passwords. And then even because previously there was a flaw where you backed it up at one point, you only back up a certain amount of addresses, and then you use up all those addresses, and then you restore the backup, you lose your coins or something like that. And you have an HD wallet, now you just stack up that, and then no matter where you go, just use that same HD wallet password or whatever.
Right? It's like the root wallet of all the wallets.
Yeah, it's like the root wallet. So this I think might be one of the first mobile wallet to actually integrate. So really check it out.
Enterprise level, they would love something.
Yeah. And ISOBAN, they're taking Bitcoin for taxes. They announced this, I think, yesterday or today or something like that. So, pretty.
What did we say? What you say?
ISOBAN. What was it? Is that it's not a country, it's a city. IOBAN.
Whatever.
The Republican gubernatorial candidate in New Hampshire wants to accept Bitcoin for taxes.
Oh, is it? That'd be hard to get through the government.
The bank is giving people problems.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. This is why I don't trust banks when it comes to cryptocurrencies.
I don't know. That's what they announced.
Yeah, thanks. Getting them in trouble.
That's trouble. Yeah. Oh, and then the peer coin surge. So whatever 40% value, and what was it a week ago? Last week sometime?
Yeah.
I don't know. What's the new bits thing? I'm not super clear on it. I just know it's something to do with trying to stabilize the currency.
That's what I heard.
Is it?
No, about Norbit?
New bit. It's called New Bit. It comes out tomorrow. Yeah,
Basically, the rumor is supposed to make the value stabilize. That's what everybody heard.
Yeah, I don't
You
know
can't
how they're gonna do
stabilize
that.
a free market.
But anyway, they're making a claim thing. And everybody's buying based on that.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's see what
It's
happens.
good. You know.
Let's see what happens.
I'm assuming they're cloning the BitShares X platform source code. I mean, I'm assuming they're doing that.
There's a lot of cloning going on.
Huh?
There's a lot of cloning going on.
I mean, hey, I don't.
There should be. My intuition is that if somebody's trying to stabilize, that they're trying to do decentralized management of the supply. Very efficient.
But, there's always a risk associated with that. So,
I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect stability to be usable.
it'll be interesting to watch. It'll be interesting to watch. It'll be interesting to watch. I mean,
Yeah,
big
what
one.
happens tomorrow.
See what happens.
Oh yes, Alpha Technology.
What's money with these guys?
Yeah, we're So you guys bought money, or you guys are into mining stuff? So this is a new butterfly that possibly.
You guys heard that? I heard that they got raided.
Are you serious?
That's what I was reading. I don't know if it's 100%. I don't know. Yeah, it was never confirmed. I don't know. That's what I heard. Yeah.
Somebody sent an email. I was like, oh, you want a refund? You get a % back. If not, you just continue waiting.
Butterfly offered a refund. 100%. They did. 100%.
Well, they're in the US. They're easy to get. These guys are in. Where are they?
Oh, they're in the UK, I believe. No.
My understanding was that it was an empty storefront.
Oh, is it really?
Alpha. At one point, it doesn't need. I think it was pretty well proven at one point that it was an empty storefront. Whether it's still an empty storefront, I don't know.
That's wow.
Well, they got me.
Let's get a storefront. Slap it.
So you bought some for
30%. It gives them another what? Year and a half.
And it's still stuck there?
Keep your money.
No, I just consider it a loss.
It's cheap. That's a cheap way to stay out of jail for another year.
Well, that's next. Okay, so NXT. Yay. So we gotta build this community up. So it starts here again.
Starts here.
Yeah, so I'm actually one of the guys that actually incubated the Bitcoin Meetup in the beginning, back in early in 2012.
Yes,
so we're going to do it again over the next.
So you must be rich.
Oh no, I'm definitely not rich. If I was, I would have been. I wish I was. Because even in the beginning, when I started doing the Bitcoin meetups with those guys, and I was like, "Oh, I got time. It was like $30 then. And I was like, and then it just skyrocketed. It's like, oh, screw it.
Kicked yourself, didn't
you? I know, yeah. Like I was doing meetups too. I was like, oh, I got time. You know, so hopefully.
I was the same way when it was like 5 cents.
Huh?
I was the same way when it was 5 cents.
Everybody, you know,
yeah,
same thing. So
you must be rich.
So maybe we do this again with the next, you know. Since now it is literally 5 cents for one next.
It's 5 cents.
Literally 5 cents.
How do you refer to it? Next coin or NXT?
NXT is the best way to refer to it because you know next is kind of confusing. So
it is.
NXT is like much clearer.
It's a bad name because when you Google NXT, you get wrestling.
Yeah.
It's a bad brand, you know. But the founder was a Russian guy, so I mean,
oh, is it?
Yeah, BTNX, you know. So,
oh, BTNX is a Russian guy.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So he didn't think he was not like a brand and marketing type of guy. You know, he was strictly a developer.
Yeah.
And so I guess you know, as a developer, most developers have tunnel vision, so they can't see outside. You know what they're doing in terms of marketing and branding and positioning and all that type of stuff. And so the name held, and 6 months later, this is what we have to deal with. We have, we have the wrestling, we have the Maelstrom Legos,
Legos, yeah.
So, but this is currency, so I think this is going to be predominant in.
We have to give it time, but the thing, it does suck when you Googling this. So I'm like, damn, I got to type NXT coin.
Yeah.
Every time.
But it is NXT, like NXT.
I call it Next.
Next is cool too.
Yeah, so
that's a recommended way of pronouncing.
So it is only 11 months old. So it's 1 billion coins issued. So it's not the same type of mining thing that most of you guys might be used to. So it's proof of stake, so everything's exists already. So supposedly that's. You're going to hear a lot of the arguments of NXT where it's like, oh, 70 people control all the next. Because that's how many people actually believe in it in the beginning. That actually donated money to the guy to build the system. Hey, you finish it.
Yeah. So, initially when they did the ICO, or the IPO, whatever you want to call it, the project, they raised about 25 Bitcoins worth. And those people who pretty much chip into that, those are people who got SEC. But as the development started to move forward, what they were doing is they started distributing these NXT to the people who are contributing something valuable to the NXT. So that's how it started to move up. And actually, I like the way NXT came about because as you can see, it was not mainly as a speculative thing. It was made they built value on top as it grows up. They build more value on top. As you can see, there's a lot of development going on. So that's the cool thing about it.
Okay, to throw out questions around.
Yeah, that.
Proof of stake is widely derided in cryptographic circles as being insecure.
No.
Any comments on that?
I'm sorry. I'm just
Well,
asking.
I would say it's it's just has the same thing as proof of work, and like it works really pretty much the same way. Just like there's vulnerability in proof of work.
The nothing at stake problem. Can you address the nothing at stake problem?
What do you mean nothing at stake?
It's the label which is used to describe the mooted mode of attack. The idea that all you have to do is own 50% at one point in time, and then you can time warp.
Wait, so you have to own more than 50%.
If you own 50% at one point in time,
right,
you don't have to own it in the future. So if you can borrow enough money to own 50% for one block cycle or whatever.
Well, you can make a fork of the main chain.
Then yes, you can.
Is what you're saying.
Yeah.
And then you can't tell what the main chain is.
Right.
That's the problem.
That is the mooted problem. I'm
And
not claiming it. I'm saying that this is how it's reported.
I understand the problem. So then the question is, what did the other nodes start mining? Which main chain? The main chain which you falsely made, which has all the previous transactions which you didn't modify, even though it is a false chain, right?
And then all the blocks which you synthesized.
Well,
a lot of people tend to forget this already happened with Bitcoin. And people did a hard fork, and it already happened with Bitcoin.
Well, there's a limit. There's a moving checkpoint, right? There's a moving checkpoint of 700, and it's not centralized like the way you think about it in terms of Bitcoin. There's a limit in terms of the way you can reorganize the blockchain.
Basically, it hasn't been addressed. There's this thing called transparent forging, which is a nice idea.
Yeah.
It doesn't exist yet, but that has its own problems.
So let's all restrict ourselves to discussion of
From
as it is now.
Okay.
So as it is now, nothing at stake doesn't happen because you don't have a wallet that can mine multiple chains. Because the nothing at stake problem fundamentally, it isn't that one guy would do that. It's that after the one guy does that, the other nodes, if it doesn't cost anything to mine to forge on the other chains, then why wouldn't you just forge all the chains you could and then collect all the fees you could, right? In which case you have a ton of chains. Yeah? The reason that hasn't happened is because there isn't like an Omni wallet and there isn't other chains to mine, right?
But that's a trivial problem to work around. I can spawn as many virtual machines as I want, as many wallets.
Well, not virtual machines, but like chains, forks of the chain.
Each of which would be mining or staking on a different chain.
But you're dealing with different variables. You're dealing with first of all, one of the variables is the time it takes for you to start forging with your effective balance, which means you have to wait the current, a certain amount of time before your node becomes, a valid person to kind of forge a block. That's one variable. Another variable is the fact that the other variables is the fact that what else are variables?
I suspect that this question is a bit complex.
It is complex.
For the format of our
No, that means a good question.
No, like I said, it has the same vulnerabilities as proof of work.
It's
Pretty not the same vulnerabilities. Just like proof of work has vulnerabilities, proof of stake has vulnerabilities. That's what I'm trying to say.
They both have vulnerabilities.
Yeah, they both have vulnerabilities.
I would say proof of work
They
is
both have
more
vulnerabilities.
manageable.
Proof
That's
of
my
work
opinion.
is centralization. That is the huge.
And so what's the proof of stake vulnerability?
What you said about the time? Because that has been done.
I am
It
not
has been done
expert.
already. No, it has been done
I'm not
on
expert.
quite a few coins. That attack. It was done on Rox coin. It was done a few other coins, but I know Rox coin definitely.
Nothing at stake attack?
Yeah.
But
But it has not successfully been done on that.
No.
because it's a different proof of stake implementation.
Mm-hmm.
So, for instance,
has it been
Bitcoin.
attacked in that way? Has
No,
anybody
I mean
attempted
the
to?
only attacks are kind of lateral attacks on the external the participants like the exchanges and
Right.
there's no direct
Right,
attack
like
on the Max itself.
Stealing the coin.
That's the
They
only
didn't roll back, did they?
no. because majority of the people decided not to, destroy their own coins.
JL came to the rescue and put some money up.
And paid off the extortionists, which is everything's a trade-off.
No, you didn't pay off the extortionists.
Somebody did. The exchange that they stole.
No.
He paid off. He paid for some of the coins.
I know he.
The
I know he
exchange,
covered the exchange. Some of the most.
The exchange paid a bounty to the hacker. The exchange paid a bounty to the hacker, and then he returned the majority of the coins. He still has 8 million NXT coins.
Which is a drop in the ocean.
Well, it's not. It's really not. You can pull down the price for a couple of days.
1,000.
Well, he's a believer of the.
Yeah, evidently the hacker is a believer. Yep.
So that's why he comes in. He does a lot of.
Why steal it if it's not worth anything?
So, big bucket. What's this?
Okay, so notice the NXT. So for those that never really installed it, I just wanted to show you guys.
Yeah.
So I usually just take it from Jean-Luc Picard's repository. Jean-Luc Picard, because there is. Do you guys usually just grab it from there?
Yeah, that's what I do.
You do, right?
Yeah, I get it from the NXT wiki.
Oh, the wiki.
Yeah.
That's the Wesley client.
Well,
That's the official client.
Oh, that's the official client.
that's the
NX,
official
for
client.
the NXTRA.org
It's the official client.
is the official
Yeah.
client.
Okay. Because I don't know. I just feel like I just trust. Because this is like
Yeah, this is the most trustable. Yeah.
It's the same client.
Same client. Yeah, it's just I don't know because I just feel like okay, he pushed it.
It's the same one.
I know it's the same one. It's just,
The reason they made an extra was because they wanted to have a faucet.
oh, they want to faucet.
But there isn't a faucet now, but there was a faucet. Because you need a faucet. Like everybody needs a faucet. If you don't have a faucet, it's going to be tough for you to use your coin.
I see.
Nero never had a faucet.
Huh?
Nero never had a faucet.
Monero.
Monero.
They don't want you to know.
That's usually a sign of something. Once in a while.
Yeah.
About 80% of the time, and then there's 10, and then there's the other 10. And it's the other 10 that we...
Yeah, so usually, simple thing, if you guys want to get into it, is just download it and then unzip it and just run.dat. That's it. Just double click it. There you go. So I'm just gonna go over the.
What are the colors, man?
Huh? What colors?
Oh, you running the old one still?
Oh, guilty.
Yeah, the new one's like this now.
Oh,
Oh man.
oh.
You like the colors better?
Yeah, I like the colors. The parent colors.
Yeah, I like the colors too.
Yeah,
Because everything looks the same now, right?
yeah.
I know.
So okay, so this is a quick rundown of the NXT client for you guys that play with it. So basically, once you run the application after you unzip it, it runs a server. You're basically running a web server, and then you just open any browser, and you go to the server on your computer localhost. And this is, I mean, you get all this information in your file, so you just type this in, and then you land here.
This is different than the wallet.
So this is the one. Show them the little server thing.
Oh, the daemon.
The server. You run the console.
Oh, the console.
You need to have Java installed, then then you install it.
You have to have the Java.
Oh yeah.
But it works pretty fast. It all gets going.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, pretty good.
Or just sit here.
Java is unfairly maligned.
It's been around for a while. There's not many people working on something.
There you go. So you gotta just run this line.
So after you unzip it, it just looks like this. Just run one of these programs depending on what operating system you have. And then after you double click it, this thing comes up, runs the server. Once it starts,
Yes, it's true. Yes.
and then you run here, and then once you go to localhost, this is your first screen that you see. So you just type in a password, any password. It has to be 35 characters long. This is how you create it.
It's a
By the way,
brain
the
wallet.
brain wallet? Yes, it's a brain wallet.
So a brain wallet is something that you remember easily. It could be phone numbers, it could be addresses, it could be an entire, like 2 addresses combined together, which will equal to about 35 characters. Yeah. So the easiest way to remember a brain wallet from my experience is use phone numbers, addresses in your address book, and then just reference them as family names or friends' names and combine them together. And then now you will never forget your wallet address. So it's because usually this wallet generates a auto-generated password, which you will never remember because it has no relevance to you, right? So that's why I suggest.
You can't change the password.
And you can't change your password. Yep, exactly. So once you log in, you have nothing. So you have to get Bitcoin. Next coins from one of us. We'll send you some if you guys set it up. So just want to have a test account. I funded it with 200 Next.
You use the security exchange as well.
Huh?
The security exchange is deposit Bitcoin.
Oh yeah, we could do that too. We'll go over that. So we will do that. Yep. So let's see. What are things to check out? So we'll let Sergi go over that. So asset exchange, I have. So this is where you buy. What do you call it? Shares, companies. Tokens. People reference that.
No use of shares. Yeah.
No use shares.
Yeah, you're in trouble.
So, all right, tokens. It could be anything. You could issue your own tokens. It could be as a company stock or anything that you could raise funding for that people might have value for. So, like X-Cubicle, us, as the repair shop, maybe I could issue 1 million tokens. And then every time somebody buys those tokens, I could be like, okay, I'm willing to give a discount whoever pays in these X-Cubicle tokens. And these can be traded in the asset exchange in this decentralized wallet. So there's something cannot be taken down. So you think of this as a decentralized New York Stock Exchange, right? This could literally take out Wall Street, I would imagine, one day, if it gets big enough. So right here, so these are just some of the assets that I added. They don't populate it manually. You have to go and find the asset number, which next reporting. Yeah, he'll show.
So are there any things that are like actually trading? Like,
Yeah. Yeah, he's gonna go over more.
Coinman, NXTTY.
Yeah.
SuperNet.
SuperNet.
That's one of the major ones. Yeah.
Yeah, right now.
Yeah.
So right now, this represents
Multi-gateways.
multi-gateway Bitcoin. So we really should go over the multi-gateway aspect actually. To now, you don't need Cryptsy or any type of exchange to get your money into the platform. So everything's done decentralized. So right now, this is let's see.
With all due respect, I think he should present multi-gateway because the secure assets
exchange.
enables BTC deposits.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, and that's pretty cool.
You know what? Why don't you do what you were planning to do? I don't like to interrupt people, and then I'll do what I was planning to do.
Okay. Yeah. Because I'm just giving just an overview of how this stuff works here. That's all. So you have messages. So you can send messages in the platform. So every time you send a coin, you're able to attach a message to it. So you weren't able to do that previously. And then now you have aliases, which is just decentralized DNS. So more of domain names. So a lot of people, they've been cyber squatting a lot of names. I'm trying to get like the good ones, like it's all gone. So it's like you can't even buy any. Like you gotta get like crappy ones. Just like .com names.
.com? Annoying.
Yeah, it's annoying. Yep. So and then another thing.
It's 3 cents a name.
3 cents a name. Yeah, so it's like it's all purchased. It's like Google, Microsoft, like every company name you can think of is like gone.
What would those be used for then? To
People are squatting it.
buying Sears.com when Sears was not on the web.
Yeah.
DNS to resolve.
Yeah. People are selling it on the forums, on the next forum.
So Wesley, a while.
You need like a Firefox plugin or something.
Yeah. Wesley, a while back, created this plugin, and that allows you to install it in your browser, and you just type in that the alias, and it resolves to that domain,
So
whatever.
that's similar to Namecoin.
Yeah, it's synonymous. It's similar to Namecoin.
Be accessed through DNS. If somebody, for example, purchases a .NXT domain, then they could be transparently gatewayed.
You can redirect or .onion or something.
Yes, nobody's going to do that.
Why?
Because people don't give a rip. Everybody's ignorant and lazy. I'm talking about, mom and pop, right? That they can access this if somebody will provide, like buying an NXT domain, right? The root domain, and you can gateway through to those names. Right.
Yes. So a lot of those are taken. And,
The store? Show the store?
Oh, the store. I don't know.
The store on the market. This is
The marketplace. But the thing is that I don't know like where to like search up products. I never found one. You know what I mean? Like you can list
listings, you mean?
Huh?
The listings, you mean?
Yeah, like listings and stuff.
They're not in there?
No, they're not. They don't list it because the thing is that it prevents what why would yeah they put your good stuff.
Marketplace, yeah.
Like where do you get a list of
You
places?
took it out. I mean,
You took it
I
down?
guess.
When I was playing with it, was there.
Yeah, what's
Yeah.
there in the testing?
I mean, this is the most recent version, right?
Yeah, it's the most recent.
Okay, so they might have like this,
No, because the thing is that I actually brought up a concern was what happens if somebody listed child pornography on it? Now you got child pornography, listings
blockchain, right?
on your wallet, when you open it. So that's why it's better to have it like this, where it doesn't list anything. You have to know the store ID, and you input it, and then you can buy stuff from that store.
Do you have a directory on that?
I don't know if they have a directory on one. I can find one. I can find one.
No, because before it was listed. Everything was listed. You could just go to people's stuff that was selling and just buy it directly from them.
Yeah.
So I guess the new version they remove that.
Yeah, they removed
probably because of those concerns.
Yeah, because it's like, what's stopping from people putting all this illegal stuff on it? And now you see on your thing. And like,
Yeah, the minute you log in, you're like, you see it.
Yeah, so that's not good.
Really? Wow. You know what to say.
Yeah,
well, there's a free market, right?
Huh?
The free market?
What?
That is, championed by James too.
What do you mean?
It's basically an external marketplace that interfaces with the marketplace itself.
Yeah.
And then on there you can sell physical, goods and digital goods at the same time.
So it's just an interface for this.
It's an interface, but you can access it on the web, basically.
Yeah.
And it's basically like the similar concept to the Secure Asset Exchange.
What's the URL for it?
I think it's freemarket.com. I'm not sure. It might be .org. But it's basically a nice URI that you can actually, use to list goods and provide URLs to your images.
Yeah.
And
You log in with your brain wallet. You log in with your passphrase.
I'm not sure. He's not released the actual market.
They need to have a close. I'm gonna have to look for a directory.
Yeah, I don't know how this
Before they had a whole directory there. Now
He's like making all this stuff. It's like, how does he?
With your brain wallet?
Yeah.
You don't see a problem with that?
I used
That's
to,
a
but
big problem.
I do
Not
see a
anymore.
problem with that. In the
I
brain
used to,
wallet.
but not anymore.
It does seem like it's like why I gotta you have access to everything now,
It limits next to a niche market because nobody, not everybody is going to use one password, right, to access all their accounts online. So
I have multiple ones.
it just limits next to a certain demographic.
That is one thing too that has been wrong. The fact I can generate other different addresses, I have to keep a track of a whole bunch of wallets. It's something that I think that somehow the future needs to be fixed. I would like to issue different addresses. You understand what I'm saying? You see how with Bitcoin I got different multiple receiving addresses? I can't do that.
Yeah, I don't even know what to say about that. I don't even know how transparent or anonymous those accounts
Exactly,
numbers are.
which makes it very hard to
I don't know, but apparently with the monetary system, there's supposed to be like
Oh, and that's monetary.
yeah, the monetary system. There's supposed to be anonymity feature, which kind of uses some technology to make currency transfer more anonymous. But I don't know how that affects the overall.
There are solutions to that. Is Bitcoin Dark.
Huh?
Bitcoin Dark. That's the solution.
Which the current state of Bitcoin Dark, it's just a clone of Blackcoin.
I'm not looking for it.
So why would I use this? Like, I mean, it does all these things. You got the asset exchange, you got marketplace, and so on. What's like the primary use case? For
Good question.
Like why would I say, yeah, I want to go run the batch file and all this stuff?
Financial instrument.
Is that
Financial instrument.
okay?
So this allows you to build financial instruments super fast, better than any other platform I've seen out there.
So what's like
a bond or a corporation, whatever.
So what are the thoughts on like? I mean, not to say Wall Street is good by any stretch, but I mean, I guess they try to create some system checks and balances, regulators, auditors, these things, and it's led to massive fraud and so on. But still, there's some thought that something's going on. So what? If you create an asset and I buy super what? How do I know what I have? Whatever. All the gateway.
Well, let me give you a good use case. Can I give you a good use case?
Yeah.
So have you heard about the decentralized autonomous organization? Like that structure, that whole formal structure?
A little bit.
All right. So is the concept really when if you break it down, it's really being able to run an organization backed by a number of token holders, and you can have a board that actually make decisions based on the token holders' decision. All right. So, for instance, in the next version of the client, you can actually vote based on the amount of assets you own. All right. So this changes everything. This changes everything. You can have an organization where you have a board and you have token holders, and based on the options provided by the board holders on solutions to problems they've discussed, the token holders can decide, and that's implemented by the executor of whoever's in charge of the account. Okay, and not only that, there are plans for more autonomous kind of accounts that can actually carry out actions that have been described back in the future. So you can have two-phase transactions. You can have, well, what that means is you can have a transaction where you send an amount to somebody, but you don't want it to be paid out to them until a certain time period has passed. Right? So you can have all these kind of programmable.
You can do that with Bitcoin, but with Next, it's pretty much unlimited. The range of capabilities is
The difference is that you can't do it with the Bitcoin QT wallet.
yeah. That's a question of implementation. The underlying technology in Bitcoin has limitations. There are no loops in Bitcoin scripts.
No.
But Next does allow, if I'm correct, please correct me, but I think it's a useful bit of information for everybody to have, that Next offers Turing complete scripting.
Super target. According to the inventors, super target.
Correct.
100%. That sounds like snake oil. Because anything that's computable is computable by Turing.
Well,
There's proof of that by Tarski in 1930.
Well, I mean, there was a recent study on super target completeness by these PhDs. I mean, I'm taking their expertise. I'm talking based on their research. It's not from mine.
But I'm always skeptical when science gets mixed with marketing.
Well, it's not marketing at all. It's implementation of what.
Right now, the only way to do
anyone their marketing.
right now,
Okay.
right now, the only way to do all of these type of things with Bitcoin is using counterparty platform.
Yes.
With counterparty platform allows you to do it.
Yep. So it has some limitations imposed by the blockchain.
Time.
What do you mean by that?
They allowed a very small address space for counterparty. There was a big fight over it. Luke Jr. didn't want anything
Junior's a what kind of point?
No,
he was
he's
a
filtering.
opponent.
He's filtering transactions. He's not allowing things to go on the hit. You know, he's not processing some
Really?
certain transactions. Yeah.
He's very well. One of the weaknesses of Bitcoin is the fact that Luke Jr. is.
Well, I'm pretty sure there's other miners out there that will process.
Yeah, but
Yes,
it's.
I mean, how much percentage mining he has?
I mean, he has more than.
Remigius is quite large.
Yeah.
He destroys coins using merge mining.
Really?
Using his pool. Yes, he destroys coins.
That's problematic. If somebody, another pool adopts his ideology, that's really dangerous.
Anyhow, so as a result of Luke Jr.'s limitations, the counterparty space in each transaction available to counterparty was much less than we required to give them a full breadth of options. But I can't say much more. I'm sure there's a workaround. Anything in computer science can be solved by another level of indirection.
They have two other
There's usually a
transactions.
cost associated.
Yeah, they have two other transaction types they put in, use to put in data.
Multi-transaction.
Yes.
Signature.
Yeah.
With the
They
address.
put it through the signatures. So the 40 bytes they have doesn't. I mean, it does and it doesn't matter. It depends what you want to do with it. If you want to give like an
But we shouldn't allocate too much time to counterparty. This is the next show.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody views life in the scope of their alternatives. So, any productive discussion always is those. So we can, I don't know, whatever you guys prefer. There's like 7 of us. There's a few of us. So I'm sure we can decide. This means you.
Yeah, it's not blue, red. The red is not working. Oh, there you go.
Great.
Got it.
Relatively visible. Okay. So I'm gonna grab the seeds. Is that all right?
Yeah, yeah. So Sergey is the one that built it.
Yeah, Sergey. Well, no, I'm not the one that built this. Me and my team.
Oh, yeah.
Mainly my people I work with built it. They're a lot smarter than this. I definitely couldn't build this alone.
Okay.
I'm lucky if I can build a chair alone. But so what we basically do is we let's start with your question. I'm sorry, I didn't get your name. Adam. I'm Sergey. Nice to meet you too. You issue digital tokens, and then the cool thing is you can distribute cryptocurrency to those digital tokens. Does that make sense? So let me give you an example. So Coinomat is an early adopter type of user of this platform. So Coinomat.com, yeah? They go on. I mean, what are Coinomat's options for doing crowdfunding, essentially? You can go on Kickstarter. You can get some debt. Well, that's not even crowdfunding. They probably, I don't know if they can get venture, because it's crypto. And then there's like this ecosystem. By the way, is this being recorded?
Oh yeah, it is. Well, actually, it's just on Hangouts. Yeah. But,
It is or it isn't.
Well,
Where am I?
It might have stopped actually.
Well, let's check that because that's going to modify what I can and can't say.
Okay, let's just kill it. I think it might have stopped.
Stopping the recording. It's
Yeah.
going to modify.
I know, yeah. Okay.
I didn't know.